Trying to understand the mind of Vince McMahon is like trying to lick your elbow, or sneeze with your eyes open, or give yourself mouth to south if you're a bloke. We've all tried to do it, and it's bloody impossible. History is all that supports a thesis. To figure out the chairman is to study his prior methods, not least because he relies on them himself relentlessly. The gimmicks that have worked for him before will work again and again and again, damn it, until they don't. With that in mind, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and these are 10 times WWE stupidly tried to plug gaps. Number 10, No Way Jose. No Way Jose was a 4-syllable name with a 4-syllable entrance theme, and, well, to be honest, that's about it, before he'd even debuted on the black and gold brand. Plus, he may very well have been there to plug a gap left by one of the latest developmental characters to be flushed away on the main roster. Adam Rose was an inspired bit of sports entertainment booking on a show rapidly becoming one of the hottest products in company history. Literally leaving a party bus to head to the ring on his first night, and oh, did you know that his rosebuds used to feature? Yes, we've all seen it. He couldn't have looked more like a star thanks to the complete package he was provided. Jose had the conga line and kicky theme, and that's all he's ever had. Number 9, Lex Luger. Hulk Hogan was like a hurricane blowing through WWE in 1993, but Vince McMahon had been so awestruck by the scale of the impact early on that he never once stopped to review the devastation left behind. Decimating the entire company with his WrestleMania 9 vanity run, Hogan plundered the last few dollars from McMahon and left him without any bankable stars within weeks. With Bret Hart diminished in the eyes of pay-per-view purchasers, Vince simply looked at the bodies of his best and slapped all the Hogan patriotism on the nearest physical replacement. Of course. The end result, Lex Luger stepping off a helicopter and onto a bus. What a bloody bus it was, though. Oh, number 8. Diesel. Vince McMahon had survived substantial jail time in July 1994 when he was cleared of all charges relating to use and distribution of steroids in the legal trial of his life, cue comedy neck brace, and appeared at least to have changed his attitude towards performance-enhancing products in the immediate aftermath. His headliners got a little smaller, but his potential headliners simply got taller. I genuinely think, by the way, that I've got more chance of being a main event WWE star than Chad Gable because of my height. Look at the bloody state of me. Anyway, gone from the main event scene was Lex Luger, instead replaced by the rapidly rising Diesel. Unseating Bob Backlund in a November 1994 squash, Diesel was immediately a victim of Vince McMahon getting back on his Hulkamania bollocks. Slapped on the front of magazines with a big old grin, he was repeatedly undermined on pay-per-view as buy rates tumbled lower than they'd done under the misguided Luger run. Number 7, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels, WWE champion, was finally a brave step forward from the Hulk Hogan template, or at least one Vince McMahon was actually prepared to get behind. Bret Hart was loved, deeply loved, by the tiny and loyal audience that remained attached to McMahon's product post-Hogan, but he wasn't a domestic draw despite every debatable set of figures his fans fought over. But Vince had heart eyes for the Heartbreak Kid. As good as, and eventually better than, Bret Hart as the 90s progressed, Michaels appeared as dynamic at the box office as he was between the ropes. Haha, nope. Shawn's matches that year were sensational, but WWE's numbers dipped again as a heel Hulk Hogan-led WCW ran rampant. Stone Cold Steve Austin's stuttering rise was the answer hiding in plain sight, whilst an unraveling Michaels buckled under the pressure of the spot. Number 6, Brock Lesnar. Take your bloody pick with this guy. Shortly before he was given the Money in the Bank briefcase in a naked acknowledgement of the lack of stars below the top line in WWE, Brock Lesnar was again relied upon as an infuriating shortcut after Roman Reigns unexpectedly vacated the Universal title in late 2018. Lesnar's unwelcome presence on the card brought the sense of relief from SummerSlam to a screeching halt. Just when you thought it was safe to return to the network. Hey lads. Number 5, Ric Flair after the Alliance. Alliance. Vince McMahon had only just vanquished the WCW-ECW Alliance when he was suddenly greeted with the news about the consortium, which was Ric Flair, buying Shane and Steph's shares, which pretty much made him rip his ear off. Many fans were left tearing at strands of their hair as the realization set in. WWE's only answer to the end of their greatest ever power struggle was another goddamn power struggle. McMahon and Flair were forced to share management duties in the organization as the chairman embraced his heel side in the absence of an entire heel company, WCW. This, like so many decisions after WrestleMania X7, reeked of panicked short-termism. Despite Slick Rick retaining a level of freshness lost by those that had entered the organization via the Alliance angle, the story he walked into was an immediate retelling of a dream angle that had degenerated into a pro wrestling nightmare. Number 4. Lacey Evans. Hey guys, who needs Ronda Rousey when you've got Lacey Evans? Everyone. Moving on. Number 3. Jimmy Hart sells the family for Money Inc. Early 1992 brought an already uneasy relationship between WWE and the Legion of Doom to an ungainly halt when Hawk and Animal flatly refused to lose the titles they'd only won the prior summer, forcing Vince McMahon to promote makeshift pairing Money Inc. as if they were the greatest pair in company history, which we all know are actually the Iconics! Ted DiBiase and IRS were great in the roles, but the act required Jimmy Hart to banter off almost everyone else in his family in order to give them gravitas to walk into WrestleMania 8 as the doubles division's best act. The Natural Disasters were the first to go to create a rivalry out of fat air for the show of shows, with the Nasty Boys following suit later that year under identical circumstances. By early 93, the Mouth of the South gave the heels the slip in much the same way he had all of his heels. With only Ted and Irwin left, Hart babyfaced himself to join up with Hulk Hogan and Brutus Beefcake. Leaving with the Hulkster later that year, his character ironically lasted less time in the organization than the duo he'd been forced to form. Number 2. The February 2019 NXT call-ups. The stench of desperation hung thick in the air as WWE revealed the graphics for their latest NXT call-ups. Well, it was either desperation or the collective sweat glands of developmental brand fans panicking about Vince McMahon ruining all their faves. The concern wasn't misguided. The very opposite of the point of the beloved brand, the call-ups solved no problems on the main roster and created a raft of new ones in the aftermath. Amidst rank ratings for the pre-WrestleMania run-in, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Aleister Black, and Ricochet were airlifted onto the show in a short-sighted stab at fixing systemic problems way beyond new talent surprises. It almost immediately backfired. NXT TakeOver New York's main event between, at the time, uneasy partners Ciampa and Gargano was shot to shiitake mushrooms, thanks in part to the NXT champion sustaining a neck injury that resulted in the title being declared vacant before the Super Show. That's fine though, it's not like it was one of the most anticipated blow-offs to a long-term feud in years! Unable to find their feet as single stars, Ricochet and Black made the best of it as a tag team before being separated just as they were getting over. Johnny Wrestling escaped altogether, returning to NXT full-time until another dreaded call-up beckons. Well, that went well, didn't it, Vince? What could possibly be worse than that? Oh no. Number 1. The Reign of Terror. Post-Attitude Era puberty hit WWE not like a teenage dream, but a living, sodding nightmare. The vim and vigor of Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock had subsided in sync with their own exit. Their WrestleMania X7 showdown proved to be the apex of the beloveds, with the company at large struggling with a damaging identity crisis for nearly a decade in the aftermath. Suddenly short of nearly all the stars that helped make so many memories, the company had no choice but to listen to Triple H's primary push suggestion: himself. The game hadn't been, well, the game outside of a scintillating 18-month run that ended not that long after the aforementioned 2001 Show of Shows. Nor was he keen to put over the various new talents in desperate need of a star to give them the rub. Hunter gleefully stood in for all the stars as Brock Lesnar and a host of WCW late arrivals came and went over a tumultuous 2-year spell, humbling virtually all of them until John Cena and Batista gave him no option but to finally take a step back. Also, Katie Vick. And that's our list. Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from for daily wrestling podcasts too. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon. Hi guys, I'm Adam Wilborn from What Culture, and if you're a fan of what you've just seen, then make sure you subscribe to What Culture Wrestling on either iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts for daily wrestling podcasts, where we not only review Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, we also discuss the events before and after of pay-per-views. We have roundtable discussions discussing burning wrestling issues, interviews, and a roundup of the week, complete with a bloody good quiz, of course, on wrestle culture. Thanks for watching. I've been Adam from What Culture, and I'll see you soon.